myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is Mass Transfer Operations 2. So moving forward in your chapter Adsorption and Ion Exchange, the few topics which are remaining are, first of all, adsorption from concentrated solution. Okay, we studied about adsorption from dilute solution, now about the concentrated solution. But before that, we have to first of all understand what is exactly apparent adsorption. So what you are doing when adsorbent is added in your mixture of solute and solvent. Okay, so there is tendency that both solute and solvent get adsorbed on your adsorbent. But this way it is hard to determine the amount of solute which is taken out. So right, what you are doing, you are assuming that only solute is getting adsorbed on your adsorbent. So that is what apparent adsorption. You are assuming, you are neglecting any volume change in the solution. See, volume change in solution when it will happen when the amount of solute which is excess, okay, when it is reduced, considerable effect is seen on your solution. Similarly, if amount of solvent is considerably reduced, then your solution amount changes, right? So apparent adsorption, that assumption was okay in dilute solution, because if very little amount of solute is present in your solution, then its removal, hardly there is any change in your volume, right? So that is apparent adsorption. We are taking that solvent is not getting adsorbed on your adsorbent, right? So here you can see that for the concentration of solute in solution, that is weight fraction versus the amount of solute which is adsorbed, okay? So we are trying to see here the relationship of solute and the amount of solute which is adsorbed per unit adsorbent, right? So in G's, concentration of solute versus adsorption rate, this plot is there. So first of all, curve A. The curve A is the plot when your solute is adsorbed on your adsorbent, okay? Only solute is adsorbed. Solvent is not adsorbed, okay? Apparent adsorption is happening here, right? So here you can see that as concentration of solute increases, so here you can see that your amount of solute which is adsorbed, right? Adsorption rate also increases noticeably. Then up to a certain limit, then it decreases and again comes to zero value, okay, where your apparent weight adsorbed per weight adsorbent is what? 0. So increasing and then decreasing. Similarly, the curve B you can see here. So what is curve B? Your curve B is for when both solute and solvent get adsorbed, right? So here you can see the difference between both the terms, okay? When we are assuming only adsorb it, only solute is getting adsorbed, whereas when both solute and solvent is adsorbing here, okay? So first of all, again here also from O point to D point, you can see here as concentration of solute is increasing, the rate is also increasing, and then it decreases up to D point. So at D point, what is happening? Both solute and solvent are getting adsorbed. See, our plot is again the apparent adsorption, okay? Apparent means what we have taken, that solvent is not getting adsorbed. So here if solvent is also adsorbing, so hence that is your 0 point, right? Because with respect to adsorbent also your adsorption is occurring. So hence at D point, your rate is what? 0 comparatively. At DE point, you can see here solvent is adsorbed more. So it means it is negative solute adsorption, okay? Because our aim is what? That solute should get adsorbed on your adsorbent surface. But here, amount of solvent is getting adsorbed more. So negative trend is followed here. So that DE curve, that is negative. So here you can see that both the north and south poles of this figure, okay, in the bottommost part you can see that is for pure solvent, right? And the topmost part is what? Pure solute. So here I can say that up to a certain limit only my rate is high, then it decreases. So here the amount of solute which is adsorbed, okay, V into delta C, that is negative, right, for DE curve, okay. The next topic is single stage operation. So here on the stage we are going to know what is the operating line of your adsorption process, right? So first of all, single stage, it means only in one stage your adsorption process is occurring. So here you can see that the solution which is to be treated, it is entering into your stage, okay? LS is what? That is your solute free solvent amount, okay? Flow rate. Again, as it is getting out, the concentration is what? Y1. And your adsorbent is also added from the top and it is getting out with the concentration x1. So here you can see that the notations L, S and SS, both of them are on the solute free basis. Okay. Now here before that, let's be very clear with our mole ratios. Okay, your mass ratio. Here capital X is what? It is your mass ratio. Note down, it is not your mass fraction, right? It is mass ratio. So what is it? Mass of solute upon mass of adsorbent. Okay, here's what is your solute. So in a mixture of A, B and C, right? Your A is your solvent. Okay. C is the dissolved solute which has to be taken out using adsorbent, and B is the amount of adsorbent. So A, C and B both are in mass basis. Okay. So here X is what? Kg of solute C upon kg of solute, adsorbent B, right? And similarly, what is Y? I am denoting my Y as it is mass ratio of kgC upon kGA. So your Y is what? It is the initial amount, it is the initial concentration of your solute present in your solvent. So you can see here from Y0 to Y1, its concentration is changing. Similarly for adsorbent also, from top to bottom, its concentration is changing. Now it is what kind of mode of operation? This is cross current. Okay. One is getting to the right, and one is coming from the top. So this is a cross current interaction. So here now material balance of solute is to be done. So see here, solute is removed from the solution. Okay, that removed solute is getting transformed to where? It is transferred to your adsorbent. Okay, so solute removed from solution is equal to solute picked up by your adsorbent, right? So this way you are getting your operating line of your single stage operation. So you can see here on Y versus X curve, your equilibrium curve is plotted. Okay, your equilibrium data might be given, and from that your curve is plotted. So that PQ is the operating line of your single stage operation. Okay, the slope is what? Minus of SS upon LS, right? So now here, what is equilibrium state? See, have a quick revision we discussed in distillation also. When the leaving streams are in equilibrium, then that stage is your equilibrium stage. Note down leaving streams. Okay. So here what is the leaving streams? X1 is leaving and Y1 is leaving. Okay. So if both of the streams are in equilibrium, then it is your equilibrium stage. So here you can see on the graph your Q point. Okay. It is on equilibrium curve. It means your Y1 and X1 are in equilibrium. It means that is the maximum limit till which your adsorption can occur. So here to describe this equilibrium condition, if I am using my Freundlich isotherm, that is Y star is equal to M into Xn. Okay. So for stage 1, as it is only one stage, so now I am representing my X1 as Y1 upon M whole raised to 1 by N. So now substituting it, you get this below equation. So see here, note down, it is given that X0 is equal to 0. It means if you are using your fresh adsorbent, okay, so no amount of solute is present, it is pure fresh, okay. So hence X0 is 0, so substituting the value, you get your final relation, that is Y0 minus Y1 upon M whole raised to 1 by N is equal to SS by LS. So this is the relationship for pure adsorbent. Okay. So next is your multi-stage cross current adsorption. So above relationship was for single stage. Now multi-stage means more than 2 stages are there. Same like that only your A, C, B are defined. A is the solvent, C is the solute, B is adsorbent. LS, SS are solute free, solvent and adsorbent. Again be very clear with X and Y. In exam they can reverse it also. So you have to be only clear with what you are taking, C by B and C by A. So here I am denoting that your X is mass ratio of solute to the adsorbent, and Y is here my mass ratio of solute to my solvent, right? So here you can see that in stage 1, concentration of solute is decreasing from Y0 to Y1. See, it will decrease here, right? Similarly, in stage 2, it is further decreased from Y1 to Y2. Whereas solvent is fed individually in both the stages, right? So again, we have to do the mass balance. So for stage 1 and stage 2, this is your mass balance, right? Now see, the operating line for stage 1, it will have the slope what? Minus SS1 upon LS, and it will pass through points X0, Y0. Similarly, for stage 2, it will pass through x1 and y1, right? And it will have the slope what? Minus ss2 upon ls, right? So it will pass through what points x0, y1, that is m, at n into x2, y2 on xy coordinates, right? So see, as the effluent streams leaving both the stages are equilibrium, the points q and n will lie on equilibrium curve. Okay, so here note down what are the leaving streams. For stage 2, my leaving streams are what? y2 and x2. For stage 1, my leaving streams are what? y1 and x1. If these two leaving streams for both the stages are in equilibrium, then the coordinates will lie on equilibrium curve. So here, this is your equilibrium curve. You can say that. See, point Q and N are in equilibrium and they are lying on equilibrium curve. So the coordinates of Q are what? y1 and x1. Coordinate of N is what? y2 and x2. So these are what? Equilibrium streams. Okay. Again, look here. y2 and x2 are in equilibrium and are in the leaving streams. Similarly, x1 and y1 are the leaving streams and are in equilibrium. So here you can see that the slope is what? Minus ss1 upon ls for stage 1. Similarly, the slope of stage 2 is what? Minus ss2 by ls. So here note down, ls is constant. Okay, in both the terms, ls is constant. But ss1 and ss2 are the two different terms. So what is that? That is the weight of your adsorbent which is fed into the both stage. If the amount is fed in the both stages are same, suppose in stage 1 I am feeding 5 kg and in stage 2 I had fed 10 kg. So see, amount is different. But in both the stages, if amount is same, amount fed is same, it means here you can see that the slope of both the operating line will again be same. If the slope is same, it means the both operating lines will be parallel to each other. Okay. So now again here, same with the material balance. If you are using what? Fresh adsorbent, then x0 is what? 0, and hence you get this both the terms, right? Now here again, as we discussed, that equilibrium condition is there between the leaving streams. Now again, what I am using Freundlich isotherm. So for stage 1, x1 is what? y1 upon m whole raised to 1 by n. Similarly for stage 2, I have x2 as y2 upon m raised to 1 by n. So substituting the value for both stage 1 and stage 2, I get this following relationship. Now I have to find out what is the total amount of adsorbent used here. Okay. So see, in both the stages, ss1 and ss2 are the two different terms. Okay. So total adsorbent use means now I have to add it. So adding both the equations, I get this final form. ss1 plus ss2 upon ls is equal to m by n, m raised to 1 by n, which is taken common, whole into y0 minus y1 upon y1 raised to 1 by n plus y1 minus y2 whole raised to upon y2 raised to 1 by n. So this is the term, okay, about the total amount of adsorbent use. Now I have to find out the minimum amount which is needed. Okay, minimum amount. So the condition of minima is what? That the first differential of your quantity which is to be known, if that first differential is 0, then that gives you the minimum amount. Okay, that gives you the minima. That is the condition of your minima. So again, what I am doing, I am differentiating my total amount of adsorbent quantity with respect to y1. Why y1? Because y1 is my intermediate. If y1 is known, because y1 amount of your solution with y1 concentration is again fed to the stage 2. So the stage 2 adsorption process, it totally depends on the y1 quantity. Okay, so hence I am differentiating it with respect to y1. So on differentiating this quantity with respect to y1 and equating it with 0, I get my following result. Okay, so this quantity, that is y1 upon y2 whole raised to 1 by n minus 1 by n into y0 upon y1 is equal to 1 minus 1 by n. So this term, this gives me what? y1 value, right? So this is the relation I obtained after differentiating. So now this equation will give me what? y1. So here substituting the y1 value. So I got what? y1 value. Now if I am substituting this y1 value in equation of total amount of adsorbent used, then the amount of adsorbent which I am getting, that is my minimum value, right? So try to do the differentiation, you will get to know it. Okay. So moving forward, now the next topic is your multi-stage counter current adsorption. So till now what we saw about the multi-stage, cross-current adsorption and single stage. Now about counter current. So this is the counter current fashion. Okay, for n stages I am doing it. Again the overall material balance for entire cascade. This is your cascade representation for n stage. Okay, so hence my operating line is what? Y0 minus Yn whole upon x1 minus xn plus 1 is equal to Ss upon Ls. Right, so this is the operating line here. Now for this cascade, if I am plotting my operating line, then this is my operating line. Here you can see that how the operating line of cascade is different than that of operating line of your single stage. Okay, so this is the operating line of your multi-stage adsorption on x and y coordinate. So the slope is what? Ss upon Ls, which pass through the coordinates what? xn plus 1 yn and x1 y0, right? Now let's focus on the concept of minimum solvent requirement or minimum adsorbent required. Okay, see, if the quantity of solvent or your adsorbent is very less, okay, very less is there, so very fast most of your transfer process might have occurred, and so very fast it reaches what? Equilibrium condition. So here you can see that on y versus x curve on both the representation, you can see that the P point, okay, which touches the equilibrium curve. So what is showing it? That equilibrium condition has been achieved, and it means what? Driving force is 0. So that is with respect to what? That is with respect to the minimum solvent or adsorbent used here. Okay, here you can see that your graph is for two different type of equilibrium curve. Okay, your equilibrium curve might be different. It can be concave up and concave down also. So but equilibrium condition which is achieved, that can be known here, right? So the slope is what? Ss upon Ls whole, that is at minima condition, right? So again, at minimum adsorbent or solvent requirement, what is the condition? That equilibrium is achieved there. It means driving force between the adsorbate and adsorbent is what? 0, and it means now infinite stages is required to carry out the separation. So now here for two stage counter current adsorbent we will see here. So again you can see that the solution which is to be treated, its concentration is what? Y0. It is to be reduced to Y2. And the adsorbent which is fed, that is fresh, hence X0 is what? 0. Okay, and the concentration of your solute in adsorbent, it increases up to X1. So here try to understand, we have three kinds of operating line. First of all, see the cascade operating line. Cascade operating line means for the whole system, for both the stages, for all two stages as a one, the cascade operating line is shown there. But for individual stages, the operating line is given as follow. Okay, for operating line 1, you can see that your slope is what? Minus Ss upon Ls. So now as fresh adsorbent is used, hence the concentration in all the stages would be what? 0 of the solute. Right? Now what we are doing the overall material balance of your solute. Okay, for whole system we are doing the overall material balance. So now the Freundlich isotherm is what? Y star is equal to mx1. Okay, so for stage 1, this is our operating line which we obtained. Okay, Ss upon Ls is equal to Y0 minus Y2 whole upon Y1 upon m whole raised to 1 by n. Okay, so for stage 1 using Freundlich isotherm. Similarly, material balance over second equilibrium stage. So the final representation is what? Ss upon Ls is equal to Y1 minus Y2 whole upon Y2 upon m raised to 1 by n. So here you can see that x2 is equal to y2 upon m whole raised to 1 by n. That is what your Freundlich isotherm. Because here you can see that again in both the stages up to a certain equilibrium condition only separation will occur. Okay, so we have leaving streams which are in equilibrium. So now what we are doing, the quantity Ss upon Ls is same in both the stages, right? So hence equating the both the terms, we get this following relationship. Now dividing both the sides with this y2 into y2 whole raised to 1 by n. So for solving it, this is the final representation which you get. That is y0 upon y2 minus 1 is equal to y1 upon y2 whole raised to 1 by n into y1 upon y2 minus 1. So this is the final representation, right?